Good morning, everyone, and it's now my pleasure to introduce Ms. Miller.
I'd like to welcome everyone, and I would especially like to recognize and welcome the parents, family, and friends of our honorees. We're happy that all of you are here to share in this occasion. Students who have demonstrated exceptional academic performance are being honored today with their induction into the Kinkaid chapter of Cum Laude. Cum Laude was created to recognize scholarship at the high school level as Phi Beta Kappa does at the college level. Our motto is embodied in 3 Greek words, arete, dike, and time. The word arete means excellence and virtue. The word dike connotes justice and includes the concept of what is suitable and appropriate as well as what is just. Time means honor and encompasses the idea of dignity and true worth. Our national organization permits induction of up to 20% of a school's graduating class into its Cum Laude chapter. So it is that we have gathered here this morning to honor the best of the best. In doing so, we are all reaffirming our commitment to academic excellence. Now, I am pleased to invite our headmaster, Dr. Materia, to the podium.
Good morning. Please join me in the responsive reading found in your program. Is not wisdom calling and knowledge raising her voice? Choose instruction rather than silver, and knowledge rather than gold. That the soul may be without knowledge is not good. They who seek wisdom are strong, and knowledge increases their strength. Thank you. Thank you very much, and good morning again. I will share just a few brief remarks before yielding to our guest speaker. The students on stage this morning have achieved at the very highest level academically, with excellence of character. They have worked incredibly hard for years. When someone performs well in the arts, athletics, or academics, we should not simply say that they're talented or that they're gifted, which may be true, but also they have worked very hard to maximize their talents. As the passage advises, these exemplary scholars have sought instruction, realizing that they do not have all the answers. They have worked with those who know more, their teachers and their mentors, who have seen more, who can help them on their journey to excellence. These seniors also know the wisdom of realizing success and knowledge is not just about themselves, but about something bigger: class, school, community, country. Our hope, and quite frankly, our expectation, is that the students on stage before us will continue to achieve at a high level, with both character and class in the years and decades to come. Please join me in congratulating them and their families for their outstanding academic careers at Kinkaid. It is now my pleasure to introduce our very distinguished guest speaker, Sam Waldman, Kinkaid class of 1995. In my career, I've had the privilege of introducing some extremely bright people, But I think our guest this morning may be in a league of his own as an intellectual powerhouse. Dr. Waldman has the title of Senior Sensor Engineer for Space Exploration Technologies, also known as SpaceX. He is currently responsible for advanced sensor development for the Falcon and Dragon vehicles, bringing over 15 years of experience in laser interferometry, precision measurement, and low background particle physics. Prior to joining SpaceX, Dr. Waldman worked for the LIGO project funded by the National Science Foundation. LIGO stands for Laser Interferometer Gravitational Wave Observatory Project. I think I said that right. His most recent work with LIGO was at MIT, where as a staff scientist, he developed the next generation of readout technology for advanced interferometers. In addition to his work with LIGO, he helped design and commission the Fermilab holometer, which searches for quantized space-time and enriched xenon observatory, which searches for neutrinoless double beta decay. Dr. Waldman holds a BA in physics from Harvard, received his PhD in applied physics from Stanford, and completed his postdoctoral studies at Caltech. He is the principal author on a dozen peer-reviewed publications and co-author on several hundred more. While a student at Kinkaid, Dr. Waldman was in the band, played volleyball, and took a lot of science classes, and I bet he did pretty well in them too. Please join me in giving a warm welcome back to Sam Waldman. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Mathieu, and to Ms. Miller for inviting me, and a great honor to be here in front of you today celebrating the Cum Laude members. I think we all recognize the tremendous hard work and excellence you've brought, and it is deserving of the highest regard. Congratulations. So it pains me a little bit for me to tell you that it's not going to be enough. It's not enough to be good, it's not enough to be excellent. You also have to be lucky. And I mean luck in a very specific way. I mean it in the way of the Roman philosopher who said that luck is the intersection of preparation with opportunity. You have to work hard and prepare, but then when opportunity presents itself, you have to take it. I think I speak with good knowledge when I say that all of you in this audience are extremely lucky. You're here at Kinkaid. You are getting the absolute best preparation that is possible to get in the United States today. You are very fortunate. You have the best parents. Thank you, parents. Thank you, my parents. And you have the best teachers. But it's up to you to seize that opportunity when it arises. I speak of something I know about because I think I'm the luckiest person here, both with family and school, but also with my job. You've heard of SpaceX. We, in the last 10 years, have built our own rockets, our own spaceships, our own computers, our capsules. You'll have to look behind you to see the cool video. I'm sorry, I'm not able to recipients. In 10 years, we went from nothing to a rocket that can go to the International Space Station.
0.
That's a 15-story building
Liftoff of the Falcon 9.
taking off at Cape Canaveral
Falcon 9
on its
is
first trip to the International Space Station. Those are the engineers that built it. The Falcon 9 rocket flies for about 10 minutes, goes from 0 to 17,000 miles per hour. It's a two-stage rocket. This is the second stage burning. When the rocket gets to space, it deploys the Dragon spacecraft. Those solar panels meant for the first time we had a robotic spacecraft in orbit. Everybody was extremely happy. Dragon does something called berthing, B-E-R-T-H. It flies underneath the space station, and then they grapple us with their robotic arm.
They're initiating the capture of the Dragon. Standing by. Capture is confirmed.
When Dragon docked with the space station, it was the first American-made capsule since the space shuttle was designed in 1975 to successfully rendezvous in orbit.
I spent quite a bit of time poking around in here this morning, just looking at the engineering and the layout, and I'm very pleased. So flying up in a human-rated Dragon is not going to be an issue.
He said that over the radio to the world, that astronaut Pettit, we were competing for crew contract at the time, so we did not pay him. We now have that crew contract, and in the next 2 years we'll be sending humans to the space station. We're also the only capsule since the space shuttle to bring cargo back down to ground. I can tell you that it is probably the best job in the world, working at SpaceX. And I'm sure you missed it. This scene right here is what I do. I build the sensors that enable us to dock with the space station. So those red crosses and the purple lines, they tell our robot where the space station is, and they tell us how to dock. And I hope you didn't miss it. I'm going to skip past these slides and point out the people who made this happen. When I joined SpaceX in 2012, there were 1,800 employees. The average age was 28. Half of them were 28 years and younger. Every summer, I hire interns, and the last 3 interns I've hired were 20, 21, and 19. You guys here on stage, and the rest of you seniors in the audience, could be working at SpaceX in 3 years as an intern or in 5 years as a graduate, when we put the first man in the space station and when we launch our first capsule to Mars. So how did I get here? That's where the luck comes in. I had been, since I was, before I ever got to Kinkaid, I knew I was going to be a physicist. I knew I was going to be a professor of physics. And I did pretty well at that, and was doing okay, until my wife had a fabulous job in DC, and I had a fabulous job in Chicago. And for those of you who know how husband and wives work, that's not a really great idea. So I called up a college friend of mine who was working in DC in the sciences, and he was at the time on the White House staff. So I figured if anybody knew science jobs in the DC area, it would be him. And I showed up to pick him up for dinner after work on a Monday night, 5 o'clock, at the executive office building, and instead of going out to dinner, he brought me into the White House and sat me down in the president's chair in the Situation Room. He sat down in the vice president's chair. It was a very small, kind of crappy conference room. And we sat there and we talked for an hour, and it was clear at the end of that hour that there were no good science jobs for me in DC. And there were no good think tank jobs for my wife in Chicago. And so we took just a wild shot and said, well, rather than living in one of these cities where we already have good jobs, let's just pick a city with good weather. And we picked Los Angeles, and it turns out he knew a bunch of people in Los Angeles. He gave me a list. The next week I went out to LA, which I had already planned, and started contacting the people on his list. And the very first one I contacted was the president of SpaceX. I didn't even know it when I walked in the door and met Gwynne Shotwell. And she says to me, what can you do? And I said, well, I'm a physicist. And she says, yes, but what can you do? And I told her, I'm a physicist. I can do anything. She didn't quite believe me, but it turns out their biggest problem at that time, what she had been spending all her time dealing with, was the laser rangefinder that docks with the International Space Station. And I worked for something called the Laser Interferometer for Gravitational Wave Observatory. Like, you don't make this stuff up, right? I interviewed the next day, had a job offer the next afternoon. Within 6 months, we flew our first instruments, and now every time Dragon docks with the space station, it's something that I built. That is lucky. And that's the kind of luck you need to look for in your lives. When I left Kinkaid, when I graduated, when I was on the stage like this, it was almost 20 years ago, Apple was bankrupt. Google did not exist. Tom Brady was a high school senior. My senior spring project was bringing the very first computer with the internet to the library in Kinkaid. You have no idea what opportunities will exist for you when you graduate college and begin your careers. You have no idea what opportunities will exist for you when you stand on this stage in 20 years. And so, faced with this uncertainty, there's exactly one thing you can do, and that is prepare. And you have to work hard, and you have to enjoy the work you do. And then when you see opportunity, you have to grab it with both hands and run with it. And I am extraordinarily jealous of the opportunities in front of you. You all are going to do fantastic. And so it gives me great happiness to congratulate you on the path you have traveled, to wish you the very best of luck on your future. Thank you very much.
Nice job. Okay. We are ready to do the induction, and we will start with Emily Ashworth. Natalie Barden. Carolyn Bell. Stephanie Bell. Horatio Kalin. Amy Doss. Ashley Davis. Montana Dolly. William Gauss. Emily Grinstead. Nicholas Ho. Jennifer Howie. Nina Kaluri. Madeline Cohn. Okay, will the second row please stand? Neil Kumar. Rachel Levy. Grant Martin. Claire McCarthy. Ashley McGaw. Matthew Marico. Emily Paul. John Peterson. Caroline Powers. Reese Rosenthal. Emily Short. Lauren Siegel. Harriet T. Eric Yu. Phoebe Zipper. Okay, you may be seated. Before I read the charge to our new members, I would like to continue our tradition of inviting anyone in our audience, including family and friends, who is a member of Phi Beta Kappa or Cum Laude, to stand and be recognized at this time. Now, will all our new members please stand? The distinguished record you've made at Kinkaid has earned for you membership in the Cum Laude Society. The Society is a fellowship of scholars whose purpose it is to recognize academic excellence. As you pursue your education, it's our hope that you will accept this honor of membership in this prestigious organization as a responsibility to make some contribution to man's ongoing search for greater understanding of himself and of society. In testimony of your admission to the Cum Laude Society, and with the authority of our chapter, I now confer full membership on each of you. A reminder to, before your dismissal, Cum Laude members remain on stage so that we may take a group picture. And we look forward to seeing you, our honorees, and parents and family members at this evening's dinner, where we will conclude our celebration. Assembly is dismissed.